Well, howdy everybody. This is Vince here from FBN and from CoinToss, and Mark on the other co-host of this show. We're here to gasbag about crypto again, as we normally do. We have no idea where the conversation is going to go today due to the fact that crypto's been fairly quiet. We do have one important piece of information, which I think I shall get through as quickly as I possibly can, just so that any of you out there who are using iPhones and by any chance using a wallet on your iPhone or your bank card on your iPhone, you need to, or any Apple product for that matter, you need to update your iOS or your Mac OS ASAP. This is an urgent call that's come out from Apple, which is basically saying that this is for any phones from 10 and above, right? The company warned of a malicious crafted image that could trigger a memory corruption, giving attackers the ability to execute arbitrary code on the target device without requiring user interaction. Right? This is only for Apple. It's not for Android, so this is why I have an Android. I don't like being trapped in the Apple ecosystem, unlike somebody on the other end of the line. Isn't that right, Mark?
Yeah, no, I'm not an Apple user either. Apart from my, sorry.
Yeah, he says that he's looking into an Apple screen.
I'm like sitting there going, no, I've got a Samsung phone. I'm sitting here using an Apple MacBook. Yeah.
So Apple is aware of the report.
That's the only thing I've got, though. That's the only thing I've got.
Yep. So it says Apple is aware that report that the issue may have been exploited in an extremely sophisticated attack against specific targeted individuals, the company said. The update was rolled out for iOS out as iOS 18.6.2, iPad 18.6.2, alongside with patches to Mac OS, Sequoia 15.61, Cinemania, God, they've got some bloody great names, 14.7, and Ventura 13.8. Apple urged users not to wait for the automatic updates and to install the patch manually to prevent a possible exploitation. So that's very interesting. The supposedly unhackable Apple has got a fault, but then I suppose that occurs with most things. Well, outside of that, it's been a very quiet week, right? Crypto has been sitting down at the moment due to the fact that it was sort of, most people said that coming towards this next month it would do that. But they're also basically waiting on what Jerome Powell's going to do in the US. And that's all relative to whether he's going to drop interest rates. So we saw it as low as 12. I saw it as 1,000 Bitcoin down to as low as 112,000. I wish I had some money. It would have been nice, but no such luck there. Have you got any news there, my friend?
I was just on that point. I was going to ask, have you seen the news that he has dropped rates?
He did do it. No, I hadn't seen that yet.
Came out today. So I haven't. I probably, if you wanted, I'll share my screen.
Yep, do that.
If I haven't, I'd have to search a quick post for that though. I probably don't need to find a quick post for that one though. Yeah, everyone, it has. He dropped rates today, and the push back straight in the market kind of started pumping. If we want to go, if I go to a new, no, it won't. That's okay. Don't worry about it. I won't bring that up.
Do another
one. Don't worry.
Okay, remove it.
Yeah, we won't worry about that one right now. Sorry, but that's otherwise I've got to go digging around and find an actual post and and stuff about the rates. But we saw today the market was back up, jumping off. I think Ethereum jumped 15%. You might be able to bring something up quickly, like the coin market cap or something.
I can bring up. Yeah, I can do some stuff there. I was actually looking at Asma, which is a newer product that's been talked about. But
if you have a look at the market today, everything's green up, and that was on the news that he has dropped rates. It'd be interesting to see if he did it with a disgruntled, or if he just did it because he had to do it, or if they're forcing him. Because he is a lizard person, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of what his motivations were for actually pulling the trigger on that. Though it's a great thing for the crypto market because everything starts pumping again. I think XRP this morning when I looked was up 6% or something like that. Yeah, I think Ethereum did the best. It was up 14%. They've kind of dipped back down a little bit now, but as you can see, like the bottoms that they had there, then they jumped, and that was on the news that he's dropped the rates. So get ready, people. I reckon that might be the bottom of the market.
Let's go to the 7-day one, see if this actually refreshes properly, and it does. So as I said, it got down around 112 today over this week, and now it's back up to, well, it even bounced right back up to 117, but didn't stay there. So it's dropped back down now to 115. And you'll see that pretty much everything is following that situation, the same thing. So, rather interesting as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, if you want to go back to that share screen that I gave you, this is where the thing that I had will be completely relevant to what we're talking about. This is a post by Dom, TraderView 2, who is a pretty good trader in the market, and he's talking about Bitcoin's bottom and giving us an overlay for timeframes. And very interestingly, the 2015 bottom to 2017 top was 1,067 days. 2018 to 2021 was 1,060 days. And then 2022 to now is 1,005 days.
2 months.
So if I click on the post too, he goes into a little bit more. Here's the actual chart. So you can see these are the cycle bottoms: blue 2015, red 2018, green is now. You can see where we are here that in 2015 we kind of got pumping a bit there, even technically in 2000. The red 2018 one, it did it too. But yeah, they're kind of a lot. This is Bitcoin over these time periods, and they're kind of still aligned, which is interesting to see that he's saying over here on the right, we've got Bitcoin remains closely aligned with the trajectory of the previous 2 cycles, even a month later. Historically, prior cycle tops occurred around 1,060 days from the bottom, placing the potential peak in mid-October, 70 days from now. So that's kind of, he's probably in with your view of the market a bit there, that with how it works, Vince.
Yeah, well, I see it in 2 ways. I thought around October, November would be about where it would peak out. But there is some discussion because of the ETFs, etc., that it sort of forced a shift a little bit either to the left or to the right. So some people think it was to the left, so it's brought it forward. So October, November is definitely towards the end of it. Others think that it's actually moved to the right and may not actually hit its peak until January sometime. So I did actually find a beautiful little clip that I wanted to try and put up here, but I missed it. and because it would have been perfect to put up as an example of when the bull market finishes, right? And it's two big, massive fish tanks that are inside a shopping centre, and the bottom fish tank lets go, and everything just floods out real quick. I thought it would have been perfect little comedy sketch, but I didn't save it, so that's a bit unfortunate. But still, to say, there is a lot of activity happening. One of the main things we're seeing a lot of right now is stable coins. Everybody's doing stable coins. And you have to ask the question, why?
Yeah. It's do you what do you think? It's an interesting question. What's your opinion on that, Vince? Do you have an opinion, or are you asking the question why?
Well, a bit of both, actually. The idea of the stable coin is obviously it matches the dollar, etc. And every big player is making their own. XRP's got their own. There's Ether's got stable coins left, right, and center. Hyperliquid's doing their own stable coin. It's like, what? Right? Why? And is it just because they're trying to keep it within their own environment, the money? So you would transfer out of something, another token, into a stable coin that was still within their own chain, or what? It does raise a really interesting question. So I don't know.
Yeah, my opinion on that would be seemingly the treasury route. The major ones have been announced, especially XRP have been announced that they're going to be using their stable coin to most likely be to buy treasuries and bonds and basically buy debt. So I think maybe I don't know if they're gambling and they're thinking that they're going to buy a whole heap of debt and make the money on the opposite side of the trade when everything gets legalized, because they can maybe see everything getting legalized now because of all the regulatory clarity that's coming out of the US now. But yeah, it's interesting, like how the link of how they're using stablecoin. They're playing a much bigger role than I ever thought they were going to, with the implementation of the cryptocurrency infrastructure. It's kind of interesting to see that for the big banks and the institutions to jump in and legalize it and have it legalized and say, okay, this isn't just a piss in the wind gamble. It seems they really need that regulatory clarity around the stable coins. That's the only real link that I see is that they're able to trade those stable coins for debt with the bonds, and then use basically XRP and XLM and things like that as the rails and the train tracks to enable the transactions with the stable coins. They don't technically need XRP to perform the transaction, as in they're trading XRP between each other for monetary value, as in the bonds with the stable coin. It's the weirdest route that they took, because they don't need stable coins. They could just use XRP. They could just do it that way. They could just use XLM, but they're using this stable coin, I think, to, like, I don't know if it's like a bet for stability, or like some kind of insurance of stability. I think where maybe they're saying because they're not these stable coins aren't manipulated, they can at least go in and out of these stable coins and know that this price is set in a way. But XRP is so fast, XLM so fast that you could argue that they're stable as well because the transaction happens so fast that there isn't any time for the price to really move. But other than that, yeah, I don't know. That was probably a long-winded explanation of what I think's going on, but it's so complicated, that stuff. That's a really interesting question. Like, why are they using all these stable coins? I think we'd need a professional in here that's an engineer to answer that one for us.
So Donna's actually brought up a thing there, and I've got to say, Donna, I'm impressed sort of with your icon. It looks pretty mean and nasty. I don't think I want to take you on. But yeah, so she's talking about what do we got there as Zedbeck, which I'm just trying to look up. But
Zedbeck, I've heard of it,
dreaming,
but I don't know. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, because I'm streaming at the moment. It's taking a really long time to kick in. Plus, I opened TradingView, which didn't help. But
yeah, you need some juice.
Yeah, apparently it's something there. I'm seeing a big crypto mining centuries in Texas making local people sick. Eggs place was this? Interesting.
I see.
I couldn't see how that would actually really make people sick. I mean, it's just a computer, right? Unless they're sitting on top of all the RF, literally sitting on top of all the RF, that might be an issue. But then, of course, upon adding to that, you should also be aware that Google has made inroads into a bit of crypto. Google has joined forces or bought shares in the Bitcoin miner group called TeraWulf.
TeraWulf,
wow. Right? And has become the top shareholder of TeraWulf, which is 14% of TeraWulf. Right? Now, this means that Google will be obviously getting profits off any mining they're doing, but TeraWulf's actually shifting focus on what they're doing. Because of the halving and now Bitcoin becomes scarcer and scarcer to get each time, and the price volume goes down for each bit you get, you don't get as many Bitcoins per cycle anymore. They are starting to shift their processing power into AI. Right? And this is why Google's put their foot in the door as my recommendation. This is what I'm thinking. They've gone into the door there as a 14% share in this big, massive computing facility with AI. And TeraWulf, that's TERAWULF is the name of it. Or TeraWulf. I call it Wolf. But Google's made a big step into there. So it makes you wonder, people say the crypto market is something that's not going to be around, but Google's obviously investing into it. They don't usually make stupid moves. So that's another piece of news that you might also find very interesting.
Yeah,
so
that's
what I would raise that one.
Yeah, another big player. Well, from one big player to another big player, this was apologies, guys. This is a little bit of XRP stuff.
You said you weren't going to do any XRP at all this time round.
I couldn't. I was trying to find Bitcoin and all other majors news apart from like Ethereum. I was like, Ethereum new all-time high. Yeah, there's 30 seconds. There's like Bitcoin. We did some Bitcoin stuff, but I was like, I couldn't avoid this just because it was another big player that is really worth talking about. Basically, with what's coming in the market at the moment. So Gemini, newbies might not know Gemini. People that have been around for a little while will know Gemini. They are an exchange, a very big exchange. Is that the Winklevoss twins? Am I talking wrong? Am I speaking out returning? I think it's the Winklevoss twins. And they posted this on August 22nd, and I'll blow it up. So this is a billboard in New York City. And as you can see here, it is a billboard of a MasterCard with an XRP logo and a date. And the date is the 25th of August, 2025, because they're silly and do their dates the wrong way.
Yep. Because they're not civilized like us.
They're not civilized. But when we put it into our terms, that's in like, a couple of days, a day or two.
Yeah.
So they're saying that, XRP and MasterCard are coming on the 25th of August.
Just to keep you happy, my friend. XRP news. All right, so I just thought that. XRP quarter moonshot depends on one key chart condition. All right. The XRP chart fractional and whale flows hint at a short-term dip before a possible moonshot, breaking out to all new time highs in quarter four. Interestingly enough, though, right, XRP closed at $3, but the fractal pattern suggests a bullish quarter four setup with a potential rally towards $4.35 to $4.85. That's way, way, way lower than we were suggesting.
Yeah, they'll never give it like what it's possibly going to do. They barely even like to talk about it. They're just talking about it at the moment because they kind of have to, because it's undeniable. It's becoming undeniable. But all these Cointelegraph and all the major crypto people for the last few years have just been XRP. They wouldn't talk about XRP if paid very well. I think they were paid very well to talk badly about XRP. So they'll never give it a really good. I think we're lucky they said $4. See how they couldn't give it $5? They had to stop at $4.85. Like, we just can't. We couldn't possibly say $5. But yeah. Well,
there you go. Just to prove that I can even take XRP into the mix as well.
Well, if you want to come back to my share screen, there's a little bit more on this Gemini news, which is very interesting. So the Wrath of Kahneman, if people want to have a look for him on Twitter, on X, he's good to follow for XRP and crypto news. He kind of breaks down what's going on with the Gemini Ripple news and the MasterCard stuff, and just says his opinion on it. And it's interesting. It's an interesting sort of thread to follow. So he's got unpacking the Ripple Gemini news. What exactly is going on? The whole may be greater than the sum of its parts, and it gets weird in number 5 of his thread. This week has brought interesting news to ponder if this is more than just a loan. So he breaks down what's going on, and this is where we might, we might be able to even tangent into some Tether stuff or something, but no, because this mentions interesting things. Gemini's SEC filing shows a revolving credit facility from Ripple, a line of credit basically up to 75 million USD, expandable to 150 million. Minimum draw 5 million, ERA 6.5 to 8.5%, depending on the collateral, which likely includes crypto. Pretty standard for an initial public offering. Is that the IPO? The unusual part is that once Gemini borrows past $75 million, additional draws can be in RLUSD, our favorite thing to talk about, stablecoins. It doesn't require or force RLUSD use. It just makes it available and could be embedded RLUSD into a regulated exchange financing, but they don't have to. So Ripple immediately gains distribution and legitimacy by inserting RLUSD into an SEC filing. Gemini gets flexibility later with no obligation, greater if the USDT, which is Tether, faces MiCA limits, which is what's sort of going around in the market at the moment. There's those rumors that RLUSD and some of these other stable coins are going to eat Tether's lunch because Tether's not technically not backed as well as they say they are, and they're not going to be able to pass the MiCA limits and rules and regulations that have now come in, especially in Europe, I think is the big one. So yeah, this is where we're going to see Gemini possibly really pump RLUSD into their system, which is going to pump XRP price, and go from there. So we'll finish this, and it says, so no obligation. Great if USD faces MiCA limits or USD banking tightens, or it wants a regulatory-ready stablecoin story for investors. So that's that passing. That's what we've just gone through, where we've gone through the court case. Like Ripple's ticked all the boxes for XRP kind of thing. They've gone through all these things, and now they're going to have a regulatory-ready stablecoin with a major exchange ready to just basically launch it in the background and use it for anything and everything they want to do. By coincidence, Gemini received, and this is where the licensing comes in. By coincidence, Gemini received a MiCA license just yesterday in Malta, and Ripple, through its new Luxembourg facility, applied for a MiCA EMI license in July. So both are preparing compliance in Europe, which is where I was talking about before that a lot of the rumors are coming out that the European market and regulators want to see Tether's books, and from what I've heard, Tether have only done an attestation, which is it's not a proper audit. It's from what I've learnt in my research about learning all the new words that you have to learn. An attestation is only it's a partial audit, and it's basically what the person being audited wants to show you. It's not them actually just opening their books and letting people have a look. So that's why they're not passing the MiCA regulations at the moment. And then the New York City billboard appeared featuring an XRP branded MasterCard issued by WebBank saying, prepare your... Oh, that's right. Sorry, I even forgot the post said from Gemini, prepare your bags for announcement on 8th to the 25th, 25. The card is backed by $75 million from Ripple and Gemini. Where we had $75 million before. That's right, the initial load amount before RLUSD becomes an option. Are they ready at the threshold? Probably not. The SEC filing says they haven't drawn on the loan as of the 8th and 15th, 25. Still, is this more than a coincidence? So yeah, and if so, and is this, and this is speculative from the Wrath of Kahneman, Ripple could be effectively underwriting Gemini's IPO liquidity and a new payment product opening doors for the RLUSD to be used in the background. MiCA compliantly, again, just grasping at straws, speculating what we might see, how we might see this fit together. So yeah, that really adds to your point before that crypto is not going anywhere. These guys are becoming super compliant. They're ticking all the boxes. And that was just, I was scrolling through my feed. I saw this post and by Gemini and was just intrigued by what it was. And it led down that road of information, which I thought was very interesting for people to kind of get a bit of a grasp of how things might work. And how the stable coins are going to be used, kind of thing. That's, like I said, they can use the stablecoin on their platform whenever they want, and because the stablecoin runs on the XRP ledger, XRP doesn't technically have to be used to move money, but in every transaction that is used with a stablecoin, XRP is burnt. So therefore, it will make it more scarce and will raise the price.
That raises, speaking of raising prices, let me just take you off the screen a sec. ZBCN, which is the one that Donna's talking about, right? This is it here. Interesting note, ZBN to USD down through to Sol, etc. Now, if we look here, it's saying 0.004 cents, 0.4 of a cent, 0.4 of a cent, 0.4 of a cent. But this one, which has supposedly $646 million going through it, right, is 40 cents. So this is where you've got to be careful, because you can get caught very easily going and purchasing a wrong version of this. Now, I did pick the very top one, which is the USDC, and it opened up in the Gecko chart for me. So I thought, I'll just quickly run a couple of lines, and we can see here quite clearly that it was quite high at one stage, right, up around 0.7 of a cent, and dropped down, but is now currently doing a little climb. But it might be interesting to also note, right, that it's had a pullback, but then so has everything over the last little while, in the last few days. But once again, it's doing a bit of a breakout. But it's heading right into a bull flag just there. So it'll be very interesting when it hits here. If it doesn't break through here and follows this line down, it'll be very interesting when it hits here on whether it's going to go that way or that way. So it sounds like a bit.
Sorry, the more it taps that top line, the more likely it is to break through.
Yeah, so well, it's tapped it once there. It's the second time there. And it's tapped the bottom almost twice as well. So it's a bit hard to actually say. But, yeah, very interesting. So she's saying it's a payroll system sort of thing. Is that right?
A payroll system?
Yeah. She.
Oh, yeah.
Where is it? Donna?
Yeah, those things. See, things like that, if marketed correctly, if they work.
She says ZBCN is similar to Onyx. Now, Onyx has actually popped up in the newsfeed, and I'll talk a bit about that in a minute. It speeds up payrolls, etc. So it looks, I don't know much about it. I mean, at the moment, when I search it in here, all it's doing is staying there. I can't literally find it outside of the terminal. So,
yeah, speeding up payrolls, that's a use case that could really be something that really takes hold. Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, has spoken about how he thinks that there's no reason why people shouldn't be paid by not in 2 week when you I'll start again. He doesn't see why the 2 week pay cycle or the monthly pay cycle is even a thing. And it's other than how slow money moves. The only reason that we have those cycles is because they take so long to move money around that they can make money off our wages as well from interest. But he thinks that we should be able to be paid by the second. And if there's a speeding up payroll coin out there and a token that's going to work, that could be something that allows you to be paid by the second, which could be worth a fortune in the future.
Yeah. Well, this is a good little example, so we'll just run with this for a sec. As I said, we could go anywhere in this chat, so we have. effectively, this is looking at the ZBet network. It's obviously been around for, let's go max. It's been around for well over a year, right? It came out last year sometime at 0.0025, got up as high as 0.0067 or 0.7, near enough. I think there's another point there somewhere. But the beauty about something like this, it tells you fully here what we're looking at, right? The market cap of it, which is there, and that's big numbers, 423 million by my thing. Fully diluted value once everything's out. It has a maximum supply of 100 billion. Is that right? Or is that trillion? Mark, help me out here. It's got three lots. It's got one comma.
Yeah, tres commas. That's billion.
Billion. Right. Okay. So a lot of suppliers. Now I don't know whether they're burning them or not, etc. But the beauty about it is at least it says it has a website and a white paper. So let's go and have a quick look at the website. See what we get. Well, sorry, I'm streaming. I'm on NBN, so it might be a very slow look at the website. Here we go. Decentralized infrastructure network, seamless flows, real value. Changing the way money moves. Around the world, blockchain is being adopted in rapid pace, which is true. It's creating a future where money and the value to move more freely, giving individuals, businesses, investors, and teams faster and easier access to funds and tokens. Well, the way the government's trying to tax us out of everything, we need to hide it bloody somewhere. But that's a whole nother subject. All right. They have 50,000 online users, 250 payroll enterprise clients. Okay. All right. Payroll volumes and countries. So, and this is some of the Lightspeed, Better, Breyer Capital, Golden Tree. Not a lot of these I'm aware of. Capital I'm aware of. Golden Tree I'm aware of as well. So there's Breyer Capital again. But yeah. But you can go in here and have a bit of a read. And it's got talks about it, the governments, the team. Let's have a look at the team. Well, at least they're prepared to show their faces, or at least three of them are. I always get concerned when I go to a website and I have people on the website like this.
Yeah.
Right. Head of web development and product.
There's not a lot of last names going on there either. They're they're rock stars. They've got one name.
Right.
No, I just pulled up its chart.
None of the advisors I follow or know of. So, not that I'm a great entrepreneur in this area. So,
I couldn't have a clue.
Right. But it does give you a bit of an idea of what's going on, and they've got a bit of a thesis there. It's always advisable to look into what they're doing, what their white paper is, and see if there's something that is worth a go. Now, while we're sitting in there, I'll just close off my power system.
I just pulled up its chart, and it looks pretty strong.
Yeah, it's moving okay.
It looks like it's gonna keep pushing at the moment.
Yeah, it's definitely heading in the upwards direction. We can see it here. Right, that's the chart.
Well, it's more. Yeah, pull it right out. Can you pull that view right out a bit further?
How far do you want to go? That's the hourly chart.
Yeah, go like on a daily.
Go daily?
Yeah. And just stretch it back. So
if I can. He's going to let me know.
No, you got drawing tool there. Go down to the corner on your right-hand side and hit A for auto. It might not be an auto anymore. Down your bottom right.
The corn gecko chart.
Yeah, I think you're in. Oh no, you're in auto.
I know.
Can you just? You can't zoom it.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah, stretch. It's usually like a scroll. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. So yeah, if you've got the bottom of where your bottom blue line is.
Yep. If we follow that.
That's like your low off your big cycle pump there, which you can see where the big up went, and then we hit that low, and then we go back up, and we hit a lower high, which isn't great, but it's okay because when we came back down and touched the blue line for the third time on your bottom line, up your next one, that is a lower high.
Yeah.
So yeah, one more up. Yeah, that one there. That's your lower high. So that's a great formation, as you said, for your bull flag. So that's like looking really strong, and that's a daily over nearly 6 months. That's pretty good. Like I reckon, and at what is it, 0.004 cents. You don't have to put a lot of money into that one to make some coin.
Yeah. If it's going to take off or get up, I'd need to do a bit more research into it. I suppose I should be looking at what's going on in the chat too. One of the key points to look at here is the volume that's here. Back down to the volume that's here.
Yeah, so that volume not a lot of volume there. When you see it really start to open up, it'll push. The good thing on my chart over here, it's stochastic. Its stochastic looks really strong. It's pointing up in the right direction, and it's coming out of the low zone, which is pretty strong.
Yep, no worries on that one. So I thought that was rather interesting. I didn't open it up in Trading View, so I'll leave that there. That'll take me too long, unless you've got a view that you want to show.
No.
Your chart.
No, we covered everything we need to cover that I had.
Okay, no worries on that at all then. What else have I got here that's relative? XRP. Oh, yes. Onyx, we mentioned that before. OKB, RV, and Monaro are making a bit of a news thing. And why would they be doing that? And this will test you out, Mark.
Yeah. RV, Monaro could make you rich beyond your... I mean, then, is it because they're tax-free, maybe? Because you can't... Because they're hidden coins.
They're privacy coins. Yeah.
They're privacy coins. So are they tax-free because they don't know that you've spent them and things like that? But yeah, what's the privacy coin?
So the altcoin season is showing selective strength for the liquidity to use concentrating on a small set of tokens. Bitcoin dominance still remains above 60%, keeping most assets in check. Yet capital continues to rotate into names with specific functions. Exchange tokens, DeFi protocols, and privacy networks now carry distinct roles in shaping the stage for this alt season. Okay, so OKB, according to Coin Market Cap, with a market cap around about 4.5 billion, daily volume is climbing, helping by trading discounts and staking functions in OKS. DeFi lending core. Now, here is a point where stable coins become a valid point. When you think about it, what do you want to lend out money in a token that's going to go all over the place, or would you rather lend out money to us greedy folk in something that's stable, tied to the dollar? Because you remember that if you're going to be lending it out, you're a lending agency, therefore you'll make your money in your interest.
Yeah.
So that's just a point.
Interesting.
So there's another reason for everybody doing stable coins.
And then they got privacy-based settlement for Monero.
Yeah. Yeah. So Avi's relevance during alt season comes with its on-chain utility, leading active persistence. Yeah, persists even when other categories are slow, which provides steady usage for the token itself. Recent price shows a narrow band between $288 and $303, suggesting liquidity concentration rather than a thin speculative spike. The trouble is with a lot of these coins is that, look at something like Hyperliquid, it is $43 for a coin, for one token. It's like, what? Yeah, right. I've got $43. No, I don't. Right. So a lot of the retail that'll come into the market isn't going to have lots and lots of money to spend. So they're going to head to the lower tokens, the cheaper type tokens. So there could be a couple of winners in there, but finding them is hard. I mean, there's a beautiful here where it's just showing you the market overview. Block games, right? Look at the percentage increase on that, will you? Oh, that's an up. That's 332,002%, or something like that. Get that back. 33,202% up. Right, it's got to 19 cents. Dora factory. Now, would I go into something like Dora? Because Dora, as far as I know, is the fish that kept forgetting things. And Mark's not laughing, so he has not spent enough time in front of the TV with his kid yet. So,
Dora the Explorer.
Dora the Explorer. Come on.
Dora joke that went straight over my head. Yeah, I was in what the hell is Dora Factory crypto mode? That's why I was just like, what? Never heard of that. I was just looking at these things going, what are these things? I've never heard of any of these.
Yeah. Well, I haven't heard of some of these either. Block games is interesting. That has caught my attention now.
It's amazing the ones
moved that far.
You've never heard of the ones. But a lot of it, like a lot of this is just it's magic money. It's like you'll get a couple of people in some groups or something together and they just pump the coin and then they dump it.
And there it is there. And look at that. It showed 19 cents before. Now look at it. Pump and dump or what?
yeah, it's jumped 100%.
All right.
So
blockchain is currently trading at 0.19. We'll update this information in real time. Well, it just did update the information. It's gone from 19 down to 0008. So that's a huge drop. Now, if you were smart enough at the time to see this come out and catch it before it took off, right? I gather it's a new release, invalid symbol. That's nice. I gather it was a new release. And if you'd put $100 and bought it at this sort of low figure and it went all the way up to 19 cents, how much money would you have made?
Yeah. Oh, a lot. Like, well, what, 30? If it's a 33,000%, you made 33 grand. What is it? 300? You could have made. Is it 300 grand with things like that? Is it
300 grand? That would have been. Yeah.
Well, kind of numbers?
1, 2, 3. Okay. Calculator. And someone needs to get out.
Because that's what I was like. I said my brain said 30 grand first, and then I was like, no, would it be 300 grand? It's insane. I don't know. I'm definitely not that good at mathematics.
If I do 100 and I divide that by 0.0008, just for now, that's 125,000 of those tokens. And if we times that by, what did it get to? 0.19. 23,750 bucks out of $100.
My brain was right the first time with the $30,000 thing.
So that's just interesting to note. But yeah,
but that's imagine that off $100. It's insane.
Yeah, Right. And the other thing that I was talking about was the Apple thing that they're urgently suggesting that you do get that one sorted out rather quickly. Outside of that, news, not a lot this week. Very quiet. I found not much happening in the X space, not much happening in the general chats. So, Bitcoin 400K by the end of the year? Yeah, I wish. Well, not that I've got a Bitcoin, so it doesn't really help. But yeah, so let's just jump out off of that. I'll remove myself from the page and come back up here. What have we got?
I got a fun clip to maybe end the show with for that touches on the Australian tax system and what we were some of the stuff we was maybe talking about.
Well, while we're talking about that, let me raise one of the things that I wanted to bring in here. If our kids can't buy a home, we've failed as a country. Malcolm Roberts. Never a truer word spoken. Right? And just to be on the shore of it, this is the reason why. And a whole 26% of those who are eligible to vote voted for this. A whole 26% is going to ruin the country. Actually raises an interesting question because apparently the ABC did a Four Corners hit piece on the Constitution last Monday night, or this Monday night just gone. And they talked about good old sovereign citizens and the Constitution. Right, so sovereign and citizens, the oxymoron that somehow gets put together. But even still, Tim Dwyer from Tim's Truth on Rumble and on YouTube now, he got his channel back finally after 4 years. But he raises a point from the Constitution where he says, and this might be wrong, so don't trust this as 100%, but in the Constitution, it specifies that the only people that can vote in an election are those that have been born on this land.
Wow, yeah.
All right?
Yep.
And must be 21 years or older.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I think that's a great idea, 21, because
but
you're an idiot when you're 18. I was.
That apparently is in the Constitution, in the back feeding of the Constitution somewhere, and he actually reads out, quotes the section. If that's correct, and the government have brought in, of course, the Citizens Act, and the citizens are allowed to vote, isn't that a direct contradiction to the Constitution, which is the highest law in the land?
Oh yeah.
Just
we can add it to the list. We can add it to the list.
Well, Malcolm Roberts did a whole thing, which I caught today, about the round table discussions and what they're planning to do with this. Have you heard any of that?
I saw the clips with the Heart Party and is that what you're talking about? How Heart Party and the Great Australian Party, Rob Culloden and all those, the minor parties have got together to try and actually say, okay, let's make a more bigger party and do something about it.
Yeah, no. This is the local treasurer who's looking to start taxing, and they're just bringing it. They're making us aware of it now, but they're looking to start taxing our homes.
I've heard of that.
Our superannuation away, taxing the shit out of our superannuation, doing a death tax on the home now. Basically start to take your home away from you and from your inheritance from your kids, right? Starting to talk about a tax for EV cars on the road, right? So all these electric vehicles that you have to pay, mega bucks to recharge the battery with, and then lo and behold, you're going to get taxed on the road for it. as well.
Yeah.
But what about us people that drive petrol or diesel cars? Are we going to get taxed the excise for the petrol and diesel we already have, and then move on and get the EV tax as well, just because we own a car?
Probably.
Right? There's so much going on, and people wonder why we want to hide ourselves away in crypto, where the government can't really see everything we do. I mean, they've got ways of tracking this, but yeah, it's just one of those things. So, I mean, 27th of December, remember that date, because that's a date you'll have to sign on if you want to search Google.
Yeah, isn't it? It's going to be interesting to see what actually happens with all that.
That's the day that I'm not saying that this is advice, and I'm not suggesting that an IT person would do this, and that they might accidentally route their whole network to another country.
Yeah,
two, or three, or five. Yeah. But yeah, right. Yeah, I wouldn't suggest that. That would be breaking the law.
Yeah, it's
breaking their law.
It's disgusting, isn't it? That we've got to start doing these things, thinking this way.
It is. They are literally making criminals out of us.
Yeah.
Right.
Good men don't follow bad laws, do they?
Well, yeah. And all it takes is for people to not stand up.
Yeah.
They try mileage tax. Hang on, I'll put that up from Peg's Palace. They try a mileage tax.
Yeah.
I heard that one too. Roadworthy and then prove kilometers. Yeah, that would possibly be something they would do too.
Yeah.
All right.
That's definitely a way they could do it to us. They're just disgusting human beings, aren't they? While they exempt themselves from everything and give themselves pensions that are tied to inflation, that are, what do you call it, indexed to inflation. Yeah. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Well, Peg's Place also says there shouldn't be dual citizens either.
Yeah, I think
that is actually validly correct. Under Section 44 of the Constitution, it talks about having allegiance to another country. And in that respect, you have to understand that Australia was a British colony, part of the Commonwealth. So theoretically, a person from England who's living here in Australia, who's an English resident, is not a dual citizen under the Constitution. They are, but they aren't. But they're allowed to vote because they're part of the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
So, so that throws a bit in there. But, I mean, if you come from India or somewhere, like Malcolm Robbins, he was born in India. And they kicked him out because he was there for a whole 3 weeks when he was baby. All right? He had to go and get renounced from India before he could become a senator again. But anyway, just as a point of interest. We're supposed to be talking about crypto, not that sort of stuff. But anyway, criminals tend to do that. Yes, that's very true indeed. Right, you had something you wanted to play.
Oh yeah, I got a clip. This is a some people might not like to listen to this guy, who this guy is, but he's got a good point. He's just happens to be one of the richest Australians that have ever been, and this is an old clip, but a very relevant clip. So it's gonna get ready, people.
You know, there are people out there who want to invest in this country, and they want to invest in it because they think it's a stable, decent country. The performance we have seen and the attempted hijackings in this company, in this performance, have taken people who I know over there who are saying, why would anyone invest in Australia? The laws get twisted and changed. The whole structure gets moved around depending on whether they like the colour of your eyes or not. Now, if we were a little bit more worried about jobs out there and getting people to invest money into this country and getting some businesses going, instead of trying to stop people, Hillman Friedman represent a group of people in America who are committed to Pacific Rim investment. And the clients that they have are worth some hundreds of billions of dollars. And they are sitting here saying, nobody could carry on like these people. It's not possible. Now that's the damage you're doing, changing the rules every single day. And I think the people out there whose jobs have been pissed up against the wall don't thank you for it. Why do you want to change the rules again? I mean, since I grew up as a boy, I would imagine that through the parliaments of Australia, from the time I was 18, 19 years of age to now, there must be 10,000 new laws being passed. And I don't really think it's that much better place. And I'd like to make a suggestion to you, which I think would be far more useful. If you want to pass a new law, why don't you only do it when you've repealed an old one? I mean, this idea of just passing legislation, every time someone blinks is a nonsense. Nobody knows it. Nobody understands it. You've got to be a lawyer. They've got books up to here, purely and simply to do the things we used to do. And every time you pass a law, you take somebody's privileges away from them.
What the Four Corners program suggested was not that you were evading tax at all, that would have been libelous, but that you were minimising tax.
There's nothing wrong with minimising tax. I don't know anybody who doesn't minimise their tax.
And that you were doing so in ways that were contrary to the spirit of the law.
Oh. Well, I just got through telling you what I thought about that. And what you're saying is exactly what the Four Corners program says. I am not evading tax in any way, shape or form. Now, of course, I am minimising my tax. And if anybody in this country doesn't minimise their tax, they want their heads ripped. Because as a government, I can tell you, you're not spending it that well that we should be donating extra.
Yeah, I love that. I do love that.
It's good,
That is so true. I mean, I'm not that I'm a great Kerry Packer fan, but it is so true.
Yeah. That's what he's made more money than any of us will ever see in all our lifetimes combined. And he's like, why the hell would I want to give you anything more than what I have to? You guys are idiots.
Yeah, you're not doing a good job with it now.
Yeah.
And it is such a true fact. It's just one of those. Man, you know, I used to be a law-abiding citizen. I still count myself as a law-abiding citizen. Just which law am I abiding to is now the question.
Yeah. Not corrupt. Not corrupt. They're not even proper laws. They're not Australian laws, not constitutional laws.
No. Right. And there's some pretty serious research that suggests, look, we're going over our hour. Pretty serious research that suggests that there hasn't been a decent law since 73.
Yeah, wow.
Right.
Which coincides with the monetary system going off the gold standard.
Yeah, well, then you can take that back a bit further. Maybe there hasn't been a law since 56 when they went from pennies, from pounds and shillings to decimal.
Yeah.
There's multiple areas where things like that come into play. And let's face it, our money that we get nowadays, that we even try to live on. I mean, you're a working person, Mark. I'm unfortunately no longer a working person due to a certain medical condition, but I can't even get disability pension. How do you like that?
Yeah,
so, you know, I'll go for a walk 100 yards down the road and be suffering severe angina attacks. So, yeah, that stuffs me. I'm not going anywhere.
No protesting for you this weekend.
No, I literally can't protest anymore. I literally can't do the walk. So it's a bit of a challenge, mate. All I can be is a geek behind a keyboard at the moment. And even that's dependent. That's why my sleep's all over the place. But, you know, when you look at how far your money goes, not planning your investments that you've got tucked away, but your basic average weekly income, how are you finding it to live? Like, if you were to compare it to this time last year, are you better off, or are you severely worse off, or is it about the same?
It's so much worse off. My rent's gone up, power's gone up, Food goes up weekly. Everyone's the same. Yeah. Yeah, every time you go into the shop, the item that you like to buy has got a new price tag on it almost weekly. It's insane. And it's not 10 cents or 5 cents, it's 50 cents, $1 each time it goes up. And so their numbers of 4% inflation or something that they try and say to you is just real world. We're seeing 20% at a time on some of these things. It's off the charts. So I guess everyone else would be hurting as much as I am for sure. Where I'm surviving just because I work so much, but also I'm not working as much as I was because I'm technically half stay-at-home dad at the moment as well. So we're splitting the time doing that. But
your other half works. Your other half works.
Yeah. She's full time. She's gone back full time now because she's got more of a career technically than I have that she's been working at. I can go get a job at any organisation if I really wanted to. Though the place I work for are great. It's just casual, unfortunately. It's not earning holidays and all those things that you like to earn. But yeah, she's got a career where she'll be hopefully earning really, really good money in a year or two. So we didn't want to let her piss that away in a way and let that go just from having a kid. And I'd been working so much. I was working 6 days a week since COVID, basically, since I got fired for not getting vaccinated. And
you're another one. Join the club.
Yeah.
You know that they're actually winning court cases. Well, we are really getting. You know they're actually winning court cases over in the States right now about that.
Yeah, so much so.
Millions of dollars being paid out.
Yeah, so much so that, our Bail Boshev ads that you see on TV for the no win, no claim, or no win, no fee, just for any working thing that you see on TV. They're running those ads in America now saying, if you got vaccinated or if you got fired from getting vaccinated, come and see us. Or for not getting vaccinated, come see us.
Because the case law is happening over there. It hasn't happened over here yet.
It's not even close.
Even though a lot of us knew that it wasn't right. But right. So, I wouldn't like to sue the company I work for because I said I wouldn't. I promised them I wouldn't, because if I sued them, it would bankrupt them. And then all the old people in this town would lose another form of support that they had.
Oh, wow. No, I'd love to sue the mob I worked for. They're terrible people.
If you gave me a shot to sue the South Australian government, that's a whole different kettle of fish.
Well, the mob I work for, the mob I worked for is one of the biggest disability and caring places in Australia. And people can go and look this one up. They just got in trouble for misappropriating funds, which we as employees, we all knew they were doing it at the time. They ran a scheme where they bought, for upper management, they would allow you to buy a house and then rent it back to the company at 20% over market value, and have all the renovations and everything paid for, the loan paid off by disability clients living in the home and paying for it. And they just got done. They just got done in an audit, and they're $70 million a year they're getting in funding off the NDIS. And people are wondering where it's getting pissed up against the wall right there. People can. I won't say the name of the company. I'll be a little bit. Technically, it's in the news, so I probably could. I don't know if that's legally a smart thing to do, but just go on.
For now, I'd hold yourself.
Yeah, that's what I thought. If people want to look it up, they can search it on Google pretty easily.
Right. Well, that's also And speaking of NDIS, we are so off topic.
Yeah, we're so far over time.
Right. Speaking of NDIS, but Topher Fields just released one about a butcher.
I saw that today.
Yeah, that is, excuse the word, and this will be, I don't have a Linus button that goes beep, but that was beep, disgusting.
Yeah.
Right.
They're just trying to sue him for, how much money was it?
500,000
500 grand. Just
for getting a kid back on track by helping him in the butcher shop. He was underage, right? But his mother was there supervising him, so that's a little bit different. But they brought this kid out of his depression, and is put him back on track with school and dealt with his. Is it Asperger's, or is he's one of the ADHD or something? Autism, yeah, right. And they want to sue him. Yeah, I'd like to take the particular bureaucrat and give them a swift kick up the butt, because I've got a daughter who's deaf, right? And it's like trying to find a job for her because she's deaf is exceptionally difficult. She's 26 years old. And other than working in the video shop when I owned it, and she did a bloody good job of that, I might add. She used to order all the videos and get everything sorted out, and took care of all of that, brought them, put them up on the shelves, marked them, did it all. But finding somebody else that will allow her to work, that's a whole different kettle of fish. The government wants to step on that. They need to be stepped on. And I agree 100% with Topher Fields on this. I think it's a shame, an absolute shame. And as he said, we got to get used to saying, fuck off.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself. Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Anyway, I got caught up there.
That was pretty easy when they were trying to force vaccinate everybody. People forgot so fast about what they did to us back then. People have just forgotten that they tried it. They tried to absolutely destroy everybody's life. And if it wasn't for a very small portion of us, I think, kicking and screaming the whole way, saying we will not comply, I think we could have been in a very different place.
It wasn't a small lot of us, mate. Canberra was friggin' huge.
Yeah, but compared to the rest of the country, it was only like 20. You'd be lucky if it was 20% of the country, 10%. It's just compared to the rest of the country. Yeah, there was 1 million people there, easy. There was, when they said there's only a few, there's easily 1 million of us there. That was huge. But to say that's just a very small portion of the country.
Yeah, indeed. Can you get a carer's pension for looking after your daughter? No, she is not that disabled. She may be deaf, and this is my opinion, YouTube, so take it as you will, which I believe occurred from her 18-month MMR vaccine that put her in hospital 2 days later with meningitis of the brain. So it affected her speech as well as her hearing. Other than that, she is a perfectly functioning human being. She's only just sort of learnt how to speak now. She's probably got about 1,000 words in her repertoire, but it's still a battle because she still mispronounces, because what she hears and what she says from us, they're two different.
You dropped out.
Sorry?
The microphone's dropped out.
The what dropped out?
Can everyone else hear Vince? I can't hear Vince.
Yeah, well, I'm still talking on the microphone. He just wants to get rid of me. That's what it is. Somebody say in the chat whether you can hear me. Anybody? Nobody's talking to us in the chat anymore.
You know how I did it before the show?
Just put thumbs up. It's you. Your thing's changed again.
You can hear me, but I can't hear you. I'll shut up. All
right. Well, with that, while he's busily playing around resetting the speaker again, because he had that challenge just before he come. Love Apple Macs, right? Just shows you. It's done an auto select and it's chosen to put his speakers back through his microphone. But anyway, while I'm talking about that, he's just looking at it. I shall remind everybody that we have VOF HQ at merch.vofhq. Going across the bottom there, we have the lottery going there, which is one of the things that helps keep this show on the road, because VOFQ funds and FBN funds are sort of being shared at the moment, and it allows us to at least pay for the streaming software and stuff we use. Now he's really disappeared off the page. I'll leave him up there in case he comes back. He's back again. I don't know if he can hear me, but that was a definite no. So please go check out the lottery. This is lottery number 5. I don't know how many is left in the lottery at this stage. I haven't looked, but it includes a second prize of a 1 gram of gold. So go to merch.vofhq.com. If you've already bought tickets before, please remember to log in first, right? So that you can actually then go and purchase your tickets, because if you've bought tickets before, it won't let you do that unless you log in. And you should find all that's relative in your emails. Outside of that, guys, I think we'll call that a night. I mean, there's plenty of shit going on in this country. If you can tuck a bit away in crypto and just let it build up, it's like better than in the bank, because at least you make some money in the crypto. And we'll try and keep on top of it and see if we can.
Back. I don't know what happened, but my computer just told bloody Max, mate. It kicked me out.
All right. So I was just saying that we'll try and keep people up to date with what we can catch. Remember, we are not crypto experts. We're just two jocks talking about crypto and the bits and pieces we see from the average level. And anything else that may be worthy of talking about. So with that, I think we're going to say goodbye. See you later, little one. You're going to be a star. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, give me the mic. So with that, guys, we'll say goodnight. Say goodnight, Mark. Say goodnight, young'un.
Good night, everybody.
I need to go over to this side, and we will do this. Catch you later, guys. Maybe. Oi. We're having technical difficulties everywhere today. Okay.